We certainly have spent enough time talking about NotebookLM in previous episodes, but now it's gone beyond toy to being like functional utility that's just core to the way that I do things, beyond just the output quality and things. And it's just going to continue to get better and more useful. So
since that conversation, I've used it a ton. Did you see any advancements like over the last month since we spoke about it last time?
I've actually seen some degradation of quality. I think that they might be throttling it back. That if you're doing big infographics or decks or whatever, they all have a look, by the way, but it's a beautiful look. And it's just already everywhere. But
it is a tell, right? It's like the LM version of an M dash in GPT's writing. Like it's people who know, like they see it and they're like, NotebookLM, nice, cool.
So my wife uses M dashes in her real writing, just for the record, as a lawyer. It sort of cracks me up.
I know, I've heard the same thing from other lawyers. Yeah. Like, you are Chat GPT. Like, you...
wow.
She sends them to you, like, in text messages. You're like, wait, are you using GPT to talk to me right now?
She definitely is not. I know that she is not. I'm very, very comfortable with that. I would say that one just interesting output from that is I didn't know this about myself, but I'm apparently more visual than I thought. It's being able to take a monster document and being able to turn it into a visual representation, be that a deck, be that an infographic, for me has been a huge unlock as I'm trying to absorb information from every corner, and I just don't have the bandwidth to read, particularly academic literature, and the ability to kind of create a cheat sheet, like the cartoon version of the MIT iceberg study, which is totally another topic that we should talk about at some point. But that's been an unlock. Other things, I would say more granular work within workflow builders. I recognize that they're a Band-Aid, by the way, that we will get beyond these workflow builders at some point, but approaching testing from a workflow perspective versus an all-in-one perspective has been a bit of an unlock for me, that versus trying to vibe code a whole solution. A workflow allows you to create a complicated step of a set of events, and you can isolate the individual thing that you want to fix and get that thing right. And you might end up with a heck of a lot more steps than are necessarily needed, but it's going to work as it goes through the process in a way that is much less frustrating than trying to code things from scratch.
Yeah. And you're speaking to N8N for the most part still, right?
N8N, is still my go-to for sure. Although I intend to spend more time in Opal, which is Google's solution, since we're a Google shop. And the idea of using vibe coding in the right places, like vibe coding for a UX that's nice and pretty and has a bunch of fields, and then tying that into a workflow as far as data connectors and data storage and conversions and things like that is just a much cleaner way to go about it for most non-developer type people.
Right. Yeah, I've also been spending a lot of time in NotebookLM, and just a lot more time. We were talking about Claude and just where it really shines, and especially for this kind of more personal coaching and just language that is less sycophantic and more directive. And I feel like it is very quick to just cut me off and say, okay, cool, you have your answer, now go do your work. Like, it doesn't want to just keep talking to me forever. I'm like, wow, very notable difference in the model. One thing that I realized, because I'm newer to using that as heavy as I was with Gemini and GPT, is that when you build one of these projects, you're kind of stuck with whatever model you decided to use for that project, which is a little bit of a bummer. And I don't know how many projects you've been running inside Claude, but I would often switch models inside a custom GPT, for example, in a Google Gem, for example, where I'd say, okay, these are a bunch of like quick, fast, easy answers, and I'm just going to keep banging away on this, and I want it right away. And then, this is going to require some more thinking, right? Or this is going to be a deep research project. Can't do that. Can't do that inside of a Claude project, which is a little bit of a bummer, because like you said, you really do start to feel invested, in these conversations, like in these different threads.